Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me warmly welcome you to the Kingdom of Morocco in this fantastic city of Marrakesh. Thank you for being here. I'm not going to defend some values, but I'd like to tell a story. Maybe that story will retrace a part of history in Morocco. The Arab Spring has left chaos in its wake. Islamization, renewed state repression, and the threat of starvation led to a military coup after the ouster of Egypt's Hosni Mubarak. The Libyan civil war finally put an end to Muammar's Gaddafi regime. But terrorism, destabilization, assassination, and precarious anarchy followed. Sectarian bloodshed approaching genocidal levels may destroy Syria. In short, internally driven regime changes in the Arab world do not seem to have worked much better than the externally imposed regime change in Iraq. However, on the northwest border of Africa, change took place in Morocco in a calmer and more gradual way. The political regime has been reformed instead of replaced, leaving institutions intact and creating new vacuum for thugs and fanatics to fill. Demonstrations sometimes occurred, but it did not degenerate into riots, armed conflict, or mob rules. Nobody thought civil war was coming, nor is there any danger for any Iranian-style revolution. Morocco has been outperforming its Arab neighbors for years. Now that a political hurricane is battering the rest of the region, it looks better than ever. Morocco evolves instead of explodes. And while incrementalism does not offer the instant gratification of uprising and revolution, it is precisely what the United States should be promoting throughout the Middle East. Most Moroccan cities are remarkably clean, well-ordered, peaceful, and civilized, while so much of the region wallows in dreariness. Morocco is awash with startling beauty and aesthetic perfection. Few people love the largest city, Casablanca. It's a bit chaotic, but the city center looks and feels like the capital of a European empire. Unlike most Arab countries outside the Gulf region, Morocco never went through a devastating socialist or Arab nationalist phase, nor has it suffered revolution or sectarian war. Political prisoners were released. Non-governmental organizations were legalized and now flourish, providing a buffer between citizens and the state. In 2004, the king granted sweeping new rights to women with a new personal status code and matched anywhere in the Arab world outside of Lebanon and Tunisia. During the reign of Hassan II, women were politically equal with men, but today they also have social and civic equality. Moreover, in 2011, after a new constitution was adopted at the behest of both people and king, Morocco was officially transformed into a constitutional monarchy with a democratic parliament and separation of powers. The king hasn't retired from the government, said Nadia Barnoussi, professor of constitutional law, who helped draft the new constitution. The changes we made, including sweeping new rights for women, very well could have been lost elsewhere in the Arab world they had been. In Morocco, Mohammed VI appointed the council that drafted the new constitution. He wanted representatives from across the political spectrum, but He also wanted a progressive modern document. So he excluded communists and radical Islamists from the process. He achieved liberal results with liberal means. Such is the paradox of Morocco. Moroccan liberals are generally happy to have the results despite the process. I spoke to a number of women's rights activists, for example, and when I asked if he feared the Islamists, he said no, and the reason was because of the king. In the Arab world, it seems you can often get liberal results or liberal means, but not both. I believe that His Majesty Mohammed VI is enacting reforms because he generally wants to liberalize the country. Democratic political cultures are not created by revolutions. They are created in advance of revolutions and reach their maturity during the aftermath. So is Morocco. It's not exceptional in the same way the American colonies and Eastern Europe were exceptional, but is exceptional. Morocco is doing better than most Arab countries because of its system of government, and it is doing better than other Arab monarchies because of its history. That history is unique in large part thanks to geography. Over the centuries, its history and geography were sculpted a culture that is partly Arab, partly Berber, partly European, and even partly Jewish. Moroccan culture is also influenced by Sub-Saharan Africa and Judaism, which has existed there for thousands of years. The new constitution defines Moroccan identity itself as partly Jewish. Morocco is a diverse and polyglot place, but its people have managed to create a coherent and unified culture that is rarely prone to sectarian and ethnic violence that has torn other Middle Eastern countries apart. Human rights activists are supposed to be critical of government acts. It's their job. It is still only fair to point out that Morocco is a lot freer than it used to be. Other countries certainly are not. Others are, but they are also unstable. Freedoms gained can be easily lost. In addition, let us not forget that human rights depend on stability. One of the most searing things I learned is that human rights mean nothing in war zones. What good would be freedom of speech if you will get killed just for stepping outside your house? What good is freedom of assembly if your city is loaded with car bombs? What good are women's rights on paper if militias can assault women with impunity? And let's not confuse elections and political liberalism. Mature political liberalism requires elections, but elections held in illiberal countries are often just referendums on who will be the next tyrant. That is exactly what happened in many countries. Elections are a liberal democracy's roof, not its floor. Morocco has free and fair elections. Morocco is like a little bit like Costa Rica during the Cold War. A calm, friendly, stable, sane, peaceable, and essentially civilized oasis in a region that has known precious little of those ends. The Moroccan model works, but it's not exportable. Some Arab countries cannot sadly find themselves with a widely respected monarch with hundreds of years of legitimacy behind him. Nor do they have time to slowly develop a democratic culture before the next crisis. But there are lessons to be learned from Morocco that can be applied elsewhere. Thank you very much.